All right, folks, welcome back to the Fourth and Fun podcast. I am Clayton Sauer, your host. With me, as always, my co host, Clayton Sheckle. Say hi to the folks, Clayton.
Hola.
I said say hi, but you went Spanish? All right. Today, as promised, we will be bringing you our top 10 NFL quarterbacks. We just did a video not too long ago about the top 10 college football quarterbacks. This one is going to be a little bit different. It's not going to be just based on talent. It's not just going to be based on what we think they're going to do next year. It's just based on it's essentially a power ranking of quarterbacks. And with there only being 32 starting NFL quarterbacks, there was a lot less to choose from, so it was a lot easier than the college football video. But there's a lot more intricacies to think about in this one, I think. Um, so starting off for me, I'll go 10 through 6. A guy I have at 10. It's a guy that's overrated in a lot of circles and underrated in a lot of circles also, and it's Dak Prescott. You're always going to have that spotlight on you as a Cowboys QB. I think he's built himself a really nice career. I think he's a very quality starting quarterback. I don't know if he's got it in him to be a Super Bowl winning quarterback without a really, 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 really good team around him. But I think, 9 out of 10 games, he's going to play well for you.
Yeah.
All right.
Trash.
Cowboys hater over there, certified. He's got a card. Number 9. This is a guy that I would have higher if he had done anything worth a crap in his entire career up until last year, and it's Sam Darnold. Very solid last year, 35 to 12 touchdowns to interception ratio, and I think 5 of those interceptions were in the last 2 games or 3 games. Really a career revival for him. He was written off by the Jets, by the Panthers, back up last year in San Fran. And then he goes this year to the Vikings, and as we've seen with a lot of other starting quarterbacks that they've had, that they really know how to get the best out of a starter. Going this year to Seattle, Geno Smith took a big step back last year. Is that on the starting, or is that on the head coach? Is that on Geno? I don't know. I guess this year we'll find out. Pete Carroll's going to be coaching Geno in Las Vegas, and now obviously Sam Darnold headed to Seattle. On to number 8. This is a guy that just oozes efficiency, and that's Justin Herbert. 23 touchdowns, only 3 interceptions last year.
Yeah, that was really good.
Added into that, though, he had one of the lowest passing yard totals of his career, which is why he's not higher. But the offense did change quite a bit. It relied a lot less on him throwing the football, so you really got to see him shine. And then on to number 7. This is a guy who, I don't really value him much as a passer. He's more of a runner, and I don't even think he had 3,000 yards passing last year, and it's Jalen Hurts.
No, he didn't. He did not.
I mean, as long as the tush push is around, he will be a top 10 quarterback in the NFL. But, like I say, less than 20 touchdowns passing, less than 3,000 yards passing. But, he's got that unstoppable play. He averaged over 4 yards a carry last year. I forget how many touchdowns he had rushing, but it was a high amount. So, yeah, I've got him at number 7. Hard to say otherwise that he's not a top 10 quarterback, in my opinion. On to number 6. Another guy, very Sam Darnold-esque, Baker Mayfield. He did have a few solid seasons in Cleveland, but Cleveland, as we know, is a quarterback graveyard. So he left there, and just like Sam Darnold, he went to the Panthers, written off there, got his chance as a backup for the Rams, turned it around there, got us.
One game.
Huh?
In one game.
Exactly. Just one game is all he needed with a competent coaching staff and a competent offense around him, and he really blossomed, gets that contract in Tampa, leads them to the playoffs 2 years in a row. They won a playoff game 2 years ago. I don't think they won one last year.
They didn't.
Okay. But still, over 4,000 yards passing the past 2 years. Baker Mayfield, I think, may even take another step this year. All right, that's my 10 through 6.
Number 10 for me, old man, still think has a little bit left in him. Matt Stafford. I think.
I thought about him.
Yeah, I mean, he's obviously going to regress, but I think he's still a top 10 quarterback in the league.
See, I would have had him, but his stats have gotten worse and worse the last 3 years. So it's hard for me to keep him top 10.
You can't write him off.
Solid.
Number 9, this one's kind of debatable with some other guys, but I got Jordan Love.
Yep, that's another one I really thought about.
Do you think he is overpaid for only 1 year production and now 2 years?
Every guy on this list is overpaid.
Yeah, but 25 touch. The problem with him is interceptions. 25 touchdowns to 11 interceptions. He didn't even touch 3,500 yards.
Yeah.
Granted, that receiver room, not
and
great.
He played 14 games last year.
Oh, maybe
14 or 13. So he didn't have a full season, but still that makes the interception problem even worse.
Yeah. Number 8, maybe a little early to put him here, but I got Jaden Daniels, historic rookie season. Obviously, we might see a C.J. Stroud
sophomore
situation.
slump.
Yeah, but if I'm going to say we don't know if that's going to happen, so I think if we're going based off of last year, you got to put him in the top 10. Number 7, Justin Herbert. Numbers did dip, but he protected the football, and they did take a lot off of him by running the ball more.
Yep.
And I think it'll help him out more. They just got to get him another receiver.
Boy, how good is that division going to be this year? The Chiefs, the Broncos, the Chargers, and now the Raiders.
I saw a thing that they had the Chargers win the division.
I mean, it's very possible. You know, the top 3 teams are all right there jockeying for position. Another guy I thought about, in addition to him, Bo Nix.
Yeah, I think Bo Nix is going to take a jump.
He also could. And, I mean, they may have 3 teams next year with 11-plus wins.
Yeah, I don't think the Raiders will get there, though.
The Raiders probably not, but I would say 6 wins at least.
Yeah. The number 6, you had him. I love this guy, Baker Mayfield.
Okay, yeah.
I love his grittiness.
We had him in the exact same spot.
4,500 yards, 41 touchdowns. The interception problem, he's always been a gunslinger, though.
Yep.
He's always been a gunslinger. He wants to take those risks.
It's good Baker, bad Baker.
Yeah.
You got to take it.
But the thing is, he'll make that bad decision. He'll bounce right back with, like, a highlight play touchdown.
He's the closest thing outside of Jameis Winston to Brett Favre that I've seen.
Yeah.
And Jameis Winston is honestly, he's not as good as Brett Favre was, but I think Baker Mayfield could be.
I want to see him get a ring. It's gonna be tough, but I want to see it happen.
Yeah.
I think he's a guy that, with what he's been through, deserves it.
Oh yeah, 0 stars coming out of high school, first overall pick, gets thrown out like trash by the team that drafted him.
Which they just scapegoated him. He wasn't the problem.
No.
He tried to play through injury for you guys and for that city, and you just said, go away. And then didn't work out in the Panthers. I think he got released. LA called him and was like, hey, we need you to play this last game. Goes out and makes a game-winning touchdown.
And he had a great game total. And that was a game he knew like 15 plays going into.
He said he learned the playbook the day before.
Yeah.
So, like, he was probably on, like, short script. Like, he didn't have a lot to go off of, but he made the most out of it.
He certainly did. All right, moving into our top 5. I'd imagine ours are very similar. Probably not the exact same ranking.
Very, very close.
So at number 5, I have Jared Goff. This is a guy that's been really good his whole career. There was a couple years he wasn't in
L.A.
Were they in L.A. the whole time he was there? I think they were. But regardless.
He may have played in St. Louis for a year. May have.
He had a couple years in L.A. where he was down. Obviously, he is that year that he takes him to the Super Bowl. Played really well that year. Gets traded to the Lions, and then just has this crazy career revival. I think the past 3 years he's thrown for over 4,000 yards, topped 40 touchdowns once or twice. And I don't see an end in sight, honestly. He's that good, and he's that cerebral. I think he's got Dan Campbell, who believes in him.
Yeah.
I don't see why he can't even move himself up this list.
My one thing with him is with the loss of Ben Johnson. How's that going to affect him? That's my one concern. Yeah.
We'll find out. It's kind of like that situation with Sam Darnold.
The Lions are just a well-built team right now,
which is a crazy thing to say about the Detroit Lions.
Yeah, they got.
If you've been watching football for more than 15 minutes, the Lions historically suck.
0-16 at one point.
Yeah.
And now this close to the Super Bowl.
And then they just had, 29 different starters on defense last year?
Yeah, it was bad.
An insane amount.
And it just, they were still winning, but it just finally caught up to them whenever they played the Commanders in the playoffs.
And gave up 49 points.
Yeah, it just really caught up to them.
And then on to my number 4. This is going to be controversial for a lot of you out there. And I'll preface it right now by saying the reason I have him this high is because of what he used to be. Based off of what he did the last 2 years, he would be very low on this list. He'd still be in the top 10. Patrick Mahomes. This is a guy that just gets glazed over and over and over again. The past 2 years, he hasn't thrown for 30 touchdowns. 2 years ago, he had 27 touchdowns, 14 picks.
Do you think
that's a very mid-season for a quarterback?
A lot of that has to do with the loss of Tyreek Hill.
I'd say that's got something to do with it. That and Travis Kelce is not playing as well as he used to.
Taylor Swift ruined that man.
So, Patrick, I don't hate the guy. I hate how much he wins. I hate all the calls that he gets.
Yeah, I was about to say, I hate all the whistles he gets. I'm pretty much wearing a ref shirt, so.
But he probably had, if not for sure, had the best 6 years in a row to start a career for an NFL quarterback, and that's not really that debatable.
There was a point in time where people were predicting that he'd pass Brady.
And, he still could. He's still young enough. He's 29 or 30.
Year 9.
Yeah. I don't see why he couldn't still be the GOAT.
Yeah, and their numbers are very similar through their first few years.
Well, Tom Brady also played in the early 2000s in a Bill Belichick offense, and Patrick Mahomes is playing in a wide-open offense today.
Yeah.
So, if anything, that just shows that Brady was better at that time. But
I don't think anyone's going to catch Brady.
I digress on that. Not to inflame anyone on that.
No one's catching Brady, I don't think. Not anytime soon.
At number 3, I have Joe Burrow. One of the great all-time seasons, in my opinion, last year.
He didn't win MVP because his team sucked.
They were, 4-8, and they won 5 games in a row to end the season. He still missed out.
So close to 5,000 yards. He would have been like the
Triple Crown winner, right?
Yeah. Would have been like, the 9th all ever?
Something like that. It's becoming a lot more common now. When Dan Marino did it in the 80s,
I think the last person
nobody else did it.
Wasn't the last person to do it, was it Mahomes or was it Manning? No, it was Brady with the Bucks. Brady did it with the Bucks.
Well, Mahomes did it 3 years ago. I think you're right. I think it was Brady 2 years ago.
Yeah.
But yeah, and with the receiving core he may even be better next year, if that's possible. And then on to number 2. This is 1 and 2 I have very close, in my opinion, but success in the playoffs does have to mean something, and that's why I have Lamar Jackson at 2 and Josh Allen at 1. My opinion, Lamar Jackson should have been the MVP last year. I think he by far had the better season. He had better stats in every single counting category that you can have other than rushing touchdowns. But Josh Allen beat him in the playoffs. Josh Allen has a lot more career playoff wins, and he did win the MVP last year. So you got to give it to him there, and that's why I have Allen at 1 and Jackson at 2. If we were going off of talent, it would be more Jackson and Burrow than Jackson and Allen, in my opinion. All right, Clayton, on to your top 5.
So ours is very similar. 5, same guy as you, Jared Goff.
Yep.
I would put him above this next guy if I knew what to expect next year, but with the new OC camp. Number 4, I hate to put him here because I'm sick of him and I'm sick of this team. Patrick Mahomes.
Yep.
Just,
But you have to respect what he did.
I do. But God, I want to see the downfall, but at the same time, it's not going to happen.
It just seems every time that they get stopped on a crucial third down, you just see a flag fly in.
Yeah, or it's a blocked field goal, or it's just something.
And it became very apparent toward the end of the year, especially one of the playoff games where he was fishing for calls. And he does that thing where he will run straight to the sideline and then try to cut it up because he knows the defenders aren't going to hit him. Well, now you're going to get hit.
Yeah.
You know?
And I think one of the craziest calls was against the Texans.
Oh, yes.
Late. The Texans defenders didn't even touch him. They hit heads.
Yeah.
And they gave the penalty to him. I'm like...
It's
and
wild.
they replayed it.
Yeah.
And still gave him the call. And I'm like, are you serious? I'm pretty sure it was Aziz Al-Shair, too. And I don't remember if they called him for targeting or not.
Well, he had that huge hit that, knocked out Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah.
Like, literally knocked him unconscious.
He was, having some history this year. Number 3, I would put, if he won MVP or ended up taking that Bengals team to the playoffs, I think I would have had him at 2, but it's Joe Burrow. Like 4,900 yards, 43 touchdowns to 9 interceptions.
Yeah.
Coming off of I guess like a nerve injury or something in his hand or wrist.
Silly good.
Yeah, like, and he always starts off so bad at the beginning of the year. I wouldn't say bad, but just not to what I guess his standard would be.
Yeah.
And then just like week 5 comes and he just turns it on.
Well, because one of our buddies actually picked him early in the fantasy draft. And I think at one point, after like the first or second game, he had twice as many interceptions as touchdowns. And he didn't throw for a whole lot of yards.
Yeah.
And then, boom, you just see him start to click. Jamar Chase, he also won the Triple Crown last year.
Yeah, like, it's just insane. It's so sad that they have screwed up that defense so much and haven't built around him defensively. Offensively, they have. Defensively, they haven't.
Yeah.
And just kind of see it get wasted.
Honestly, if there was a comp ever for Dan Marino, right now it's Joe Burrow.
Dude,
somebody just uber talented.
Dude can just sling it.
Yeah, and just for some reason in the playoffs or not even getting to the playoffs, just nothing right happens.
Number 2, I guess you would like this, Josh Allen.
Oh, okay.
I got him at number. I know reigning MVP, but when I'm looking at the numbers, he's got to be number 2.
Yeah.
If I'm looking at these numbers and I'm going based off of both of them, I got to put him at number 2. Didn't even touch 4,000 yards though, but I mean he killed it on the ground. Like there was a lot of times he said, "I'll handle this."
Yeah.
Run the ball, get the first down, except apparently against the Chiefs whenever he was clearly over.
Yeah.
And didn't get it. But we're not going to talk about that. I mean, he would just... And he did it in the snow, too. He looked like LaShawn McCoy out there in the snow.
Yeah. I always get scared whenever I see the Bills play a winter game against the Dolphins because I know bad things are going to happen.
It's a nightmare for you. And then number 1... I mean, the numbers are just ridiculous for a running back. Lamar Jackson, 4,100 yards, almost 4,200. 41 passing touchdowns to just 4 interceptions.
Yeah.
I mean, I can obviously see why, you say he should have won MVP. And I don't know what they look at. And then almost 1,000 yards rushing. He didn't... And that's with Derrick Henry. He didn't have to do it on the ground as much as... he normally did. But,
well, that's a big reason in the difference in rushing touchdowns because you saw from the 10 and in Josh Allen running a lot of touchdowns. But on the 10 and in, when you got Derrick Henry in the backfield...
you just handed it to Derrick Henry every time.
Exactly. He had, 20 22 touchdowns last year. A high number. Which, granted, James Cook did too. But he's not the power back that's going to push across the goal line.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I know. Yeah, that's my top 10.
All right. I'm sure we both nailed it, but if we didn't, let us know in the comments below. And as always, thanks for watching. For Clayton Shekels, this is Clayton Sauer with the Fourth and Fun podcast, reminding you, if it's fourth down, have some fun and go for it.